morning, class 11. In earlier session, we have covered central nervous system in the chapter The Basis of Human Behavior. And central nervous system included brain as well as spinal cord. The last topic that we covered was reflex section of the spinal cord. And today we will be doing endocrine system. Endocrine system consists of glands that play a crucial role in physical development and behavior. These glands are ductless glands as they do not have any duct to send their secretions to specific places. Rather, the secretions are directly being transferred into bloodstream. The secretions of these glands are called hormones. Hormones are directly secreted into bloodstream, as I told you. These endocrine system work in tandem with the nervous system. That's why endocrine system is also known as neuroendocrine system. The major glands of endocrine system are pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is also known as master gland, as it controls and regulates the secretion of other glands. Pituitary is situated within the brain just below the hypothalamus, and it is divided into two parts: anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary is directly connected with hypothalamus. Hypothalamus controls the secretions of pituitary gland. Pituitary is important for growth, so it is called as growth hormone. It also directs and regulates other endocrine glands. That's why the master gland. Some hormones are secreted throughout life as they are important for functioning of body. Others are secreted only at specific stages. For example, growth hormone is released more during childhood, while gonadotropic hormone are secreted at the age of puberty in both boys and girls. Due to this, both genders attain specific physical features like hair growth, or to a certain areas of body are more developed as compared to the others. Second hormone is thyroid hormone. Thyroid hormone is located in the neck region, and the hormone secreted by it is known as thyroxine. Thyroxine is important for metabolism, and it regulates and it is regulated and controlled by anterior pituitary. The hormones secreted by anterior pituitary, there is one among them known as TSH, which is important for the secretion of thyroxine, and the full form of TSH is thyroxine stimulating hormone. It means TSH stimulates firstly anterior pituitary stimulates TSH, and then secretion of TSH will lead to secretion of thyroxine. This affects consumption of oxygen and elimination of waste in the body cells. Underproduction of thyroxine can lead to physical and psychological lethargy in a person, and if it is overproduced, then it means excess of activity and lack of concentration and lack of focus on a particular task. The complete removal of thyroid from the body can lead to stunted growth and malfunctioning in the younger stages of development. After thyroid, there is a third gland, that is adrenal gland. Adrenal gland is located above each kidney in human body, and it has two parts: adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Each one of them secretes different hormones. The secretion of adrenal cortex is regulated and controlled by adenocorticotropic hormone, that is ACTH. Adenocorticotropic hormone, which is also secreted by anterior pituitary, that we have studied earlier. Anterior pituitary gland. When there is less secretion from adrenal cortex, anterior pituitary gets activated and stimulates the adrenal cortex to secrete more amount of that particular hormone. The hormones secreted by adrenal cortex are known as corticoids, which are important for regulation of minerals in the body, especially sodium, potassium, chlorides. Even a slight disturbance in its function can severely affect the nervous system of human beings. The second portion, which is adrenal medulla, it also further stimulates or secretes two hormones, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Epinephrine is also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine is also known as noradrenaline. The sympathetic activation system of our body, which is under autonomic nervous system, activates with the help of these two hormones, and it includes increased heart rate, oxygen consumption, metabolic rate, muscle tone, blood pressure, etc. All these are regulated by these two hormones, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Epinephrine and norepinephrine both further stimulates hypothalamus, which maintains the emotional state even after the passing of that particular emotion by activating the physical response with the incoming of the emotion. Hence, hypothalamus can be considered as an important part, as we have studied three glands, which includes the importance of hypothalamus. The next gland we will be doing in the next video, and that is important under endocrine system, is pancreas. Pancreas located near the stomach. And it has a vital role in digestion. As it is very much clear from the previous examples also, that the location of the particular gland is important for that particular part of the body to function well. Therefore, if pancreas is located in stomach, then that means it is important for digestion of food. It also secretes a hormone named insulin. And insulin helps the liver to break down glucose into two types. It is important for breaking of glucose. Glucose can be used in two ways in our body. First one is for instant energy. Consumption, or for storage, for the future use of energy. So, the first one, for instant energy consumption, the glucose is broken down for the use instantly, and the second one is for storage of glucose as glycogen. Glucose is stored as glycogen in the body. It is stored as glycogen in the liver. When insulin is not secreted in proper amount or in adequate amount, then our digestion gets affected and digestive system gets damaged, and it can lead to a disease named diabetic mellitus, or in general terms we can say it diabetes also. The last under the endocrine system would be gonads. Gonads refers to testes in male and ovaries in females. This is for male, this is for female. The sexual behaviors of human is controlled and regulated by these glands. It is also important in performing reproductive functions in males and females. Secretions in gonads is initiated, maintained and controlled by anterior pituitary. Once again, anterior pituitary is important. The hormone secreted under this anterior pituitary system is called as gonadotropic hormone. The short form is GTH. The secretion of GTH begins at the age of 10 years in humans, and the process goes like this. First of all, the anterior pituitary gets activated. Then anterior pituitary stimulates gonadotropic hormone. Gonadotropic hormone activates gonads, and this in turn releases the hormone gonadotropin. Which then provides primary and secondary characteristics which are gender specific in males as well as in females. There are two different systems in males and females. For example, in males, as I told you, testes are important. In females, ovaries are important. The system for female is very much complicated as compared to males. Ovaries generally produce two kind of hormones, estrogens and progesterones. The function of progesterone is the simple one, that is to prepare the uterus for reception and maintenance of fertilized egg cell. And the function of estrogen is to produce the primary as well as secondary gender related characteristics in females. For example, development of egg cell that appear after every 28 days or so in females becomes a cycle, and this cycle of 28 days is regular phenomena in mature females. After this, the older egg is shed by the ovary and that is replaced by a new egg. So this cycle continues up to the age of nearly 45 to 50 years. This is a natural phenomenon. The secondary characteristics like deepening of voice in males and rounded body contours in females also depend upon this hormone. Progesterone's basic role, as I have told you, that it's just prepare the uterus. So estrogen is more important in females rather than progesterone. But if we talk about reproductive functions and structures in female as well as male, then in female progesterone plays a very important part, because if it's not working properly, if it's not functioning and is not produced in required amount, then there would be problem in conception. In males, testes generates androgens. The main androgen is testosterone. The name of male hormone is testosterone, and testosterone is linked with, it is also linked with increased aggression and other male related characteristics like excessive hair growth, plus muscular development in males. Why all these endocrine system is important for us and why these glands are important for us, I think this has been very much clear to all of you. And the most important thing is that all these secretions, which are called hormones, are very much important for our well-being. Not only for our well-being but also for furthering our future generations, as hormones like estrogen, progesterone and testosterone are very much important for conception. So guys, this is the chapter, this is the endocrine system. I have completed it, and in the next video we will be continuing with this chapter's part, which is the hereditary and the nature's effect on individuals, as well as cultural effect of particular culture on behavior. So students, I am discussing with you the syllabus that we have covered until today. The first portion of the basis of human behavior was evolutionary perspective, in which I told you about what evolution is and why evolutionary perspective is important to study under psychology. Then there was biological basis of behavior, how our body or physiology is important for affecting our behavior. And under this we have studied neurons and their structure, how nerve impulse is conducted, synapse and synaptic transmission within the neurons. Then nervous system, which is further divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system includes brain and spinal cord, whereas peripheral nervous system includes somatic and autonomic nervous system. Under autonomic nervous system, further we have a division, sympathetic and parasympathetic division. Then the last one that I have covered today is endocrine system, which includes 5 glands, which are major glands and which produce hormones that are very much important for our well-being and our general functioning of the body. First is pituitary, which is located in brain, then thyroid located in neck, then adrenal located in stomach, then pancreas located in stomach, then last one is gonads. So I think all this syllabus is clear to all of you. If you have any query, you can always send me a message on WhatsApp, and keep studying and stay healthy. Thank you. Good morning, class 11. After the endocrine system and endocrine glands, we will be studying today heredity, genes and behavior. So what is heredity? Heredity means the total characteristics that we inherit or get from our parents. These characteristics are transmitted through genes or genetic material, as we say it. Genes are the biochemical units of heredity that make up chromosomes. These are segments of DNA, that means deoxyribonucleic acid, a molecule that code physical features like eye color and psychological features like intelligence, etc. The study of inheritance of physical and psychological characteristics from our ancestors is known as genetics. Genes. Genes contains the information for production of specific proteins which regulate the physiological processes as well as expression of phenotypic traits. There are 2 kinds of traits that are important under genes. First one is phenotypic and the other one is called genotypic or genotype. This can be said as phenotype and the other one is genotype. So what are phenotypic traits? Phenotypic traits are the observable characteristics of an individual, for example body build, strength, color of skin, etc. Other characteristics or traits that are passed on to the next generation are called genotype. A gene can change its form and this process is called mutation. Basically, mutation is done to adapt with the new environment or the surroundings where the changes has occurred due to certain reasons. So mutation leads to evolution of new species. Mutation actually is the new combination of genes which have proven to be successfully accustomed to the environment. Now we will talk about the process of life. In the beginning of life, there is a single zygote cell, that is mother's egg fused with father's sperm. Zygote has a nucleus containing chromosomes. Chromosomes are inherited from each parent in equal numbers, and chromosomes are thread-like structures residing within a nucleus. So consider if it is the nucleus, the chromosomes are the thread-like structures and they are always found in pairs. So the number of chromosomes in each nucleus is distinctive, it's different, and each one cell contains a distinct feature in itself. At the time of conception, the organism has total 46 chromosomes, out of which 23 are from father and 23 are from mother. 22 chromosomes are for distinctive features, while the 23rd chromosome decides the gender of the child. There are 2 types of description. First is X type and the second is Y type. So the process goes like this. If the 23rd chromosome of sperm cell, either it can be either the jointly connect with X type or Y type. If it adds to X type or fertilizes an egg cell with X type, then the child would be a girl. And if Y type fertilizes with the egg cell, then the child would be a boy. So this is the process of gender explanation or decision of gender of a particular child.